Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. Here we are in Tier 39, successfully able to stay in Vault once again. Given, of course, we had both the offense and defense mythic, definitely helped out, but we still needed, of course, to pretty much win all of our offense matches. So let's start with the replays, with actual animations once again. So this week, I decided to once again goofball. We did free summon Harmonize Roy, so I was like, let's try chucking him on defense, see what he does. My problem with Harmonize Roy is he has absolutely no damage reduction, unlike, say, Regan or Brave Erica or whatnot. So he is even more prone to getting one shot on the counter, even though he can inflict up to -6 attack on the foe. And of course, this neutralization of penalties to attack speed is nice, and of course Faith in Humanity can be definitely super strong, but yeah, he just has no damage reduction on the counter, and of course, we have to goofball by doing the turn 1 Deadeye Wings of Mercy Legendary Crom, just to see how he does. I didn't expect him to do much this week, because of course there's a unit called Elamine that has start, so they could use it on column 2, they could go column 5 if they just want to screw over the infantry pulse and upheaval plus. Totally up to the Elamine user. But here they don't have a far save unit, so that's just a clean loss of a unit. And of course there's more incoming because we get the dance to do absolutely nothing because Odor is blocking the way. That is an issue with clogging all your structures, or placing all your structures like I have on that to clog up space. It definitely causes bottlenecks, which people can use to their advantage for sure. Here, Duma gets to survive Valentine Gustav, even though he has a bunch of damage, because Duma also gets his damage reduction from his upheaval, or not upheaval, Fell Breath Refine. So, great for Duma, not so great for the enemy. Unfortunately for us, Ophelia has no defense. So, of course, Olivia is going to go attack, doing way more than 5 damage. So, no follow-up kill that turn, so they can go ahead and start sleeping. Sundered Leguarn also has a similar problem to Harmonize Roy in that they can both do quite a bit of damage. The problem is they have to be able to survive the counters, and they have no damage reduction to do so. Because most of the time, a lot of tanks do not have options to deal with damage reduction other than potentially attack multiple times in the case of a unit that only gets damage reduction on the first hit. Or, of course, there's the other option of just casually doing so much damage that the damage reduction isn't enough. And that's totally possible. But unfortunately for Ophelia, her defense is way too low, so despite the weapon triangle existing, Ophelia still can't survive the shot, so that's 3 kills for us. Not great for them. And like usual, for the most part, we'll just see the same general strategies. This person didn't use their Elamine at all to proc false start on any of our units. Zero idea why you would do that, especially when you're running Brave Edelgard as your far save unit with distant wards, so she can't even counter Legendary Crom. Of course, they're actually running 2 far save units for that matter, you know. There's no near save unit. It makes you wonder, why do you need 2 far save units? If one of them dies, then you have another one, but if you've lost a unit, that's probably already something wrong. Speaking of wrong, baiting Harmonize Roy with Adrift Male Corn is probably not a great idea. You're up against the weapon triangle and effective damage. Sure, you have your damage reduction, but not great. And I'm just surrendering here, probably for good reason. Elamine is just going to lose to Harmonize Roy. I'll leave this as an exercise for the viewer. If Legendary Crom can actually just one-shot Ascended Fiorm through Ice Mirror, but I think most of us know how that usually goes anyways. And here we have an interesting team. Don't see Fallen Edelgard too much nowadays. Definitely still see her a ton on defense. On offense this week we ran into like 5 of them, but I was running Legendary Crom this week and Brave Veronica, so not difficult at all to deal with Fallen Edelgards at all. It's more as if we're trying to flex on them. Speaking of flexing, we did definitely a lot of flexing this season on offense. Ended up mostly just clean sweeping most teams. Not too surprising, given that we mostly run hidden run strategy. Our offense strategy on Astro Season is mostly hidden run, with a splash of hidden run. So, and there's not a lot of Kanto control running around yet during Astra Anima shenanigans, because of course it's not readily available on a mythic like Medius. But once again, Fallen Edelgard against Harmonized Roy, she can't charge up her Bonfire in one round because of Faith Within Humanity, so she just gets absolutely obliterated. But speaking of getting obliterated, Roy here is on the verge of picking up the one-shots, but is unable to. So, Moose Bell is able to one-shot Harmonized Roy's back. Unfortunate for us, because of course we have Brave Camilla here, so they can gravity all they want and get away with it. Especially since we have Duma still alive. He's going to be beating up the dances for us. Unless, of course, we get the magical drawback before the dance, which of course isn't going to happen. So it's just a sweep at this point. Duma, unfortunately, just unable to survive. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do about it? They also could have used Plumeria or Camilla, or Brave Camilla. I guess if they had, yeah, they could just use Brave Camilla. Because no counterattacks. Feels bad, man. But just a clean sweep after losing a unit. Not the end of the world, I guess. Especially if it's like us, one team only, no escape ladder shenanigans. Losing one unit's not too bad. Funny enough, though, on offense, our last match of the season actually somehow randomly got matched into someone on my friends list. And I was already familiar with their defense. They are a huge... Is it Igren? Igren? I don't know, I'm just gonna say Igren fan. So, like, you know, they have maxed out Ninja, Igren, Base Igren, and all that. Definitely a fun defense team. I actually already know how to take out their defense, even never having done the friend mock battle before, just because I noticed how I could exploit their threat range, because of course one of the dangers with our offense team is most of them are pretty squishy, so the double ninja Agrens on my friend's defense can be super threatening with the mobility and of course the guaranteed double attack. Pretty much will two-shot almost my entire... I think two-shot's all but one unit in my entire team, and I think that only unit that can survive is Legendary Crown. By a sliver, probably manages to survive. So, basically my win condition is just to do a hit and run out of their threat range, and then just walk in and nuke everything. Which is what I could have done, but since I was already guaranteed to stay in vaults just by winning the match. I could lose all but one unit and still make it. I decided to be nice and eat 2 kills. I was debating on a 3rd kill. Decided not to get the 3rd kill. Probably should have, because it doesn't really matter too much. I guess I just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't actually accidentally throw the entire match and have a terrible feels bad man moment that I just threw a season of staying in vault that I could have, so what are you gonna do? And yeah, the thing was, they did have Canto control on their base again, the red bow infantry again, so couldn't really use Reagan for hit and run. I actually could have done some other weird things involving Legendary Crom and Reagan going for the snipe down on their launcher gun so I could get a hit and run off with Reagan, but decided not to do that, just did a really funky 2-unit sack. One of them utilized the fact that my bolt tower went off turn 3, and so not all their units are at full HP, and I believe both of their ninja grens are running reciprocal aid. So it can be really funny. You can get some funny not teleportation, but funny movement, of course, because of how reciprocal aid works. So I got it so they would be able to snipe down one of my units, thanks to the reciprocal aid usage, giving extra mobility for the ninja grens. Pretty. It wasn't a very pretty flex for controlling the enemy team, but it got the job done.
Just like Fafnir.
I decided to give a 2-unit sack because I saw that they were only running. I think it was only Saros. I kind of forget. So I don't remember. They were running Mirabilis. I don't know why I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they were running Mirabilis. We just assumed they were. So I just wanted to make sure if we did inflict lift loss that it wouldn't be too much or 0. I did not. I was too brain dead to actually calculate what the lift loss was. Feels bad, man. But speaking of feels bad, man, Ascended Fion by 1 HP, so rigged. But what are you gonna do? That's what happens when you're Ascended.
A warrior is owed respect.
+0. And your Legendary Crom is running Quicken Pulse so that he can try to get turn 1 Deadeye. Combined with Times Pulse and Infantry Pulse on Olivia. What are you gonna do about it? Duma, of course, then get absolutely obliterated by Pirate Surtur. Damage reduction super strong. When it actually procs, of course. But of course they have elements, so more damage reduction. Totally balanced Astro Mythic, by the way. Speaking of balance, we don't know all the details yet, but there's going to be Chaos Seasons of Ether Raids. Not sure how I feel about it. All I know is that Nino will have some memery being a bonus unit, if I understood the Fae channel correctly. So that'll be interesting. Unironically, I'm not entirely sure if Nino getting bonus stats is actually a good idea. She does get more attack and... well, all the stats are useful, especially the +10 HP. I'm just not sure how viable Vantage is going to be at that point. I guess the main purpose of that would be so that she can face tank even harder hits, because of course our Nino only has so much bulk as is at max, so she's not able to face tank literally everything. I wish she could, that would be ridiculous, but the extra stats would definitely help pad for that, especially the +10 HP, because of course you have units that attack multiple times and proc specials, but of course with Caiden's Refine, that's less of a problem. It's still a problem for units that have turn 1 specials and whatnot. But what can you do about that when you're running a single goofball offense?
Quiet, scum!
We don't entirely know how scoring is going to work inside and out yet, so we'll have to see about that. But if we can reasonably score with our meme squad, I am definitely going to go for it. I don't know if we're going to do something crazy like record every single match because Nino's bonus or something. We get to see how ridiculous having bonus stats is, but I don't know. I feel like the biggest meme would be if they could somehow align it so that a bonus unit that's not in the version, or a bonus unit on the list is also a bonus in terms of the version, remember? So somehow there could be a bug or something where they get 2 stacks of the bonus stats. That would be funny, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Intelligent systems doesn't usually overlook those things. But once again, Brave Hector doing Brave Hector things. And well, we're gonna get Luna to do quite a bit here. Not too bad. But yeah, that's about it. Because, well, this team is not really engineered to damage. As you can see here,
there's my chance.
Legendary Crown doing a whopping 7 base damage is just going to do 0 damage to Hardy Fighter Aegis. That's expected. Not really much we can do for Legendary Crown to beat Brave Hectors.
This is it for you.
Unless the Brave Hectors are super weak, then maybe, just maybe we can do it. Yeah, especially when we're running quick and full seal. Our attack stats are too low to do anything reasonable. And once again, Reagan obliterating Odor. Player phase. And of course they're just going to continue taking end turn, since it is optimal here. What's not optimal for the opponent here is their Valentine Gustav continuously missing kills. But that's the price they pay when they're running Fighter Davis. So going real overkill. If I do ever go for a save strat, which I don't know if I ever will, but if I do, to practice a ton of daily damage calc AI shenanigans, we'd probably just go for the potato strat like this, not actually try to go for kills. I'm not sure if it's a great idea, but the only way you can know is if you use it a lot, just like how we've used close counter advantage meantime on Nino for how long has it been now? It's definitely more than a year, but we have plenty of experience with it. Could say for sure that it's very questionable, but when it works, boy does it work. It's pretty darn good when it works. But yeah, it's a pretty niche tech. Not for the faint-hearted, to say the least. You don't tread lightly going into a build that purely relies on damage off of attack to get the job done. It's pretty suspicious. But at the end of the day, we just like to goofball and beef the raids. So I don't know what my next goofball project is, because for light season it's just probably going to be Nino for the rest of the time I play this game. We're just going to continually try to get Nino to do better and better at our shenanigans on offense, which who knows how well that's going to go. Speaking of how well it's going to go, finally there is a Bride Fjorm in the game that can finally do her job, Kappa. Yeah, it's not very common to see a 78 HP Bride Fjorm. You kind of need to have some pretty heavy investments to get the job done. And well, once again, Legendary Calm not really going to do anything. I'll just put him in just to put him in because it was water season. Realistically, probably would have been better to run like Legendary Azura instead or something. Probably wouldn't do that well either, though. Of course,
Clear a path.
no unit on the team that really benefits from Legendary Zero. Except maybe if you include a Harmonized Roy, his weapon, but not really. Because, unfortunately, you can't proc his Harmonized skill on defense. It's definitely super powerful, though. Because that is, of course, granted, you can actually get your field buff not neutralized during combat from wolves and whatnot. But if you have +6 all stats, that's +24 damage every attack. So if you're quadding, that's just +96 damage. But it's a little bit of damage.
Your luck's run out.
Definitely was super useful during Tempest Trials. Speaking of Tempest Trials, though, I forgot to make a video on it, but I did officially, intentionally break my mean top 1K streak. If you don't know, for quite a while, I was exclusively clearing Tempest Trials using only Lunatic 7, and I would do every battle manually. So the result of that was lots of brain damage, but I ended up ending the streak this past Tempest Trials. We were at a streak of 59 consecutive top 1K rankings. So pretty crazy streak. Basically almost 5 years. Technically not, because I think way back when, while the streak was going, there were some Tempest Trials, like there were 2 in 1 month or something. But approximately took 5 years to get to that point, and I don't know. It's nice to not to have to farm everything so hard anymore, but kind of feels bad I didn't think about it. Probably should have brought the streak up to 60 to make it a more round number and call it 5 years, aka 60 months, but whatever. What's done is done. Definitely going to enjoy not hyper farming, because the main purpose of that top 1K Tempest Trial shenanigans was mostly farming HM, because of course the difference between top 1K and top 5K is typically double your score from top 5K, and you still have to probably do a little bit more to get top 1K. So it's a lot of effort just to get 2,000 more feathers. But of course, the justification for going for such a ranking is just farming hero merit, and so that's what I would do. Over the past about 5 years, I've definitely gotten so much better with learning how to speedrun Lunatic 7 manually, and building teams, budget teams to farm hero merit and still getting away with it. Definitely interesting to say the least. Kinda wish I practiced speedrunning Tempest Trials more, but not gonna complain about it.
I'll defeat you.
At the end of the day, it's pretty darn hard to consistently go for top 1K every single Tempest Trials, especially when you get hyper busy. You just don't have time to farm Tempest Trials manually, no matter how fast you can do it. Typically, my benchmark for pretty fast, consistent Lunatic 7 runs would be 90 seconds, which honestly is, if you try it yourself, you might find it might be easy for you. It might be, how the heck do you do that? But it mostly just involves how consistent can you be with one-turn clears, and if you can't turn one-turn clear, you always have to two-turn clear. There's no real way to get a sub 90 second Lunatic 7 run manually without getting only 1 and 2-turn clears on every map. So definitely an experience. Something you definitely won't forget. I have a ton of most of my top 1K placements. I do have a screenshot. I think I'm only missing 3 screenshots, and those were like the super early days of the streak. I think it was maybe the first 3 top 1K placements in a row. I don't have screenshots for that just because back then I didn't really take many screenshots. But I believe my personal best for a manual Lunatic 7 run was, I don't remember the exact number of seconds, because of course once you get really low, in terms of, you get pretty low times, each second does matter in terms of speed. It's like the difference between a 4 minute and 1 second run and a 4 minute run is much less significant than a 60-second run versus a 59-second run. But I know for one particular Tempest trial, we were consistently completing Lunatic 7 in about 1:10 seconds, so about 70-75 seconds, which is pretty good.
Disgrace leaves a brand.
My personal best was somewhere around, it was somewhere around a minute. It's pretty hard to get sub-minute, especially when you don't do micro optimizations. Funny things you have to do. Some of the more obvious ones are
Know the strength of Asker.
turning off all animations. You don't have time for that. And of course, using things like duo skills and harmonized skills, while they're nice for getting one-turn clears, the extra time for the animation, even when you turn all animations off, there's still some small bit of time where you can't move your units and whatnot. It does add up across the run, so you can't use duo or harmonized skills typically, unless you have super fast inputs, which my inputs are reasonably fast. I think I've made a video on the channel before showcasing a sample. It wasn't a very good example, but still an example nonetheless. But one of the funny optimizations is maxing out HM on all of your units that you're using for the run, because otherwise at the end of every match, even if only one of your units hasn't maxed out HM, the game has to play that split-second animation of how much hero merit your unit gained for clearing that map. And across 7 maps, that adds up to a few seconds. So there's a lot of funny things you need to do if you want to absolutely speedrun Tempest Trials. But yeah, it was definitely an experience, to say the least. I keep saying that, but it's a lot of work. Would not recommend. I'm sure someone could probably beat it, but again, it just takes too much time. The problem with Tempest Trials, any record of that nature in Tempest Trials, that it only occurs once a month approximately. So if you want to beat my record, for example, starting now, the next Tempest Trials, it's going to take you 5 years, which it's certainly feasible to do, but it's just kind of like, why would you do that? And of course the other thing is you would have to be able to properly document that you actually did clear every single run without auto battling, which of course there's no way I could provide any proof of that, but I know I did it, so that's all I need to know. I know I did it, and given what I've shown that I can do on Lunatic 7 manually with live footage, it's reasonable. It's just you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. That's really the hard part. The actual runs in itself, not that difficult. There's quite a few ways you can micromanage things to streamline how much brain power you need for the clear. You don't typically need to use a lot of brain power for that kind of thing, because it's usually just looking for certain threats that you have to worry about, and that's it. Once you do it for a while, you kind of recognize intuitively what you need to do. But going back to our shenanigans here, for some reason Arena Assault Plus ran back to back 2 weeks in a row. Not sure entirely why. I guess maybe they wanted to revert it back to how the rotation was, where 1 week it's Allegiance battles, the other week it's Arena Assault Plus. Or, wait, no. I think they wanted to revert to where it was Allegiance battles and Arena Assault Plus both running at the same time. Don't know. It does technically benefit us because we score better on Astra Anima for Arena Assault Plus rather than Light and Dark because we have Duma and Lith versus just Peony. So there's that. We actually got a pretty darn insane score. The tactical retreat mulliganing did help a ton because we did get a few min rolls. We ended up having to take a min roll, I think, in our run. But we still ended up at 5,370, which is pretty solid. I'm pretty sure that's my personal best score. Definitely not going to be my personal best rank. I don't think I'll ever top my personal best rank. I think it was rank 17 or something. That was way back when. Like 2 years ago, I would say. So now things are quite different. If you want to get better than rank 17, you gotta score pretty well. And with the tactical retreat, you basically have to max score because people can always fish a bit better using the tactical retreats. If you don't get the max score, you just tactical retreat, try to get it again, and you get those 2 mulligans, which definitely helps out with consistency in trying to out-meme the matchmaker. But anyways, we'll be back when the results drop in. Whoops, so the update came out and I went to go look in Ether Grade. I was like, wait a second, we haven't recorded yet. So, not bad. X-Trap is level 5, so that'll be pretty impactful. The new terrain, I do expect some people to shift to some of the new maps. I think in particular if we go to the blank one here, I think not this one. Of course it's the last one I picked. I think this one might become a commonly used map if they say put the fortress on one of these sides. That's probably going to be annoying. I'll just go ahead and do this during the video for absolutely no reason. The update, definitely looked at it. The refines are fine. Valoria's refine's pretty solid for Gale Force shenanigans. And just the other units got a bit of what they needed, but of course a lot of them aren't going to last, unfortunately. On Team Alphonse and Voting Gauntlet, probably going to lose, but that's the nature of trying to get a better cumulative score ranking. You have to go with the units that you have the bonus, you have to go with the units you actually have, so not very many options for us there. At least Arena Assault, we are well into top 1k, definitely a solid score. We don't try that hard to maintain a good score, as in we don't hyperfish anymore. We used to do that a lot, but in the meantime we're just cruising. So now Arena Assaults Plus and Allegiance battles are back in the same week rotation, at least, or so I think. We'll see what happens next season. But until then, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye! So I accidentally missed and hit the pause button, so I figured, might as well. Let's go ahead, and for the memes, we're going to... Okay, that's not the right button. I wasn't looking for 1 second, and I pressed the wrong button. But as you can see, Fallen Julia and Dancer, Lachesis, and Eflin, we didn't do very much. It was mostly for Eldigan here. We kept fishing and fishing and fishing, and we got an okay kit. Not too disappointed in what we got. I don't know about distant stance. I was debating whether to replace it with a catch skill or whatnot, but at the end of the day, when I'm going to be using him, it'll probably be on E3's defense or something, where I'm going to give him Fortress defense res anyways. So I figured might as well meme and keep distant stance on him, since I mean, he has a very large res stat, as you can see, so I've never done this before, I'm not entirely sure what happens. But there we go, first form ever. Don't know what we're going to do with the other one, but I won't be too stingy about using it, as long as it's a unit I can probably merge up to +10. That would probably make the most out of my Forma cell. I don't think I would use it on a unit I don't have that's pretty good, because at that point I should just summon for that unit if I want a copy of them. But I guess in that respect it would be if I need to get a ton of expensive fodder to build them, then maybe I might consider it. So, anyways, finally the actual end of the episode.